Welcome to Talk Around Riyadh, the Wheel of Time showcast. I am your host, Joe Perry, here with my co-hosts, Jen Isgro and Tom Kokoza. Jen, what's going on?
Not too much. My husband and my youngest daughter are at a father-daughter dance tonight, so that's exciting for my house. For me, because I'm here with you guys, which is exciting in a different way.
Definitely a
So
different
that's
way.
what's going on with me, guys.
Tom, you want to pick us up from there?
Yeah, I mean, really, I feel like we are not even second choice. Like we are down the ladder of things Jen would rather be doing tonight. But I'm doing well, Joe. Exciting time of the year if you're a sports fan. I guess this weekend is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We've been told that Prime Video will have no advertisements on the Super Bowl. I don't know what they would be advertising anyway.
The Super Bowl is on Prime Video?
No.
He means I said they will have no advertisements.
I thought you were saying Prime Video is. Forget it. Just erase that. I thought you meant.
What? I forgot what channel is it on this year. What are we up to? Is it ABC?
CBS. It's CBS.
CBS. Oh, so we get a Romo and Nance vehicle, huh?
Yeah, I think we do.
Do you guys ever watch? There's a guy on Twitter who does like Seinfeld episodes where he plays all the characters.
No.
He did a really funny one about the Super Bowl. Dan showed it to me today. I gotta send it if I can find it. He doesn't do Elaine, but he does Jerry, George, and Kramer, and Jim Nance was mentioned in it. That's why I just made me think of it.
Oh.
If I can find it, I'll just send it to you guys.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Super Bowl weekend. So of course we're here to talk about the Wheel of Time, which is what you want to hear about. You don't want to hear about the Super Bowl.
No.
You don't want to hear about Usher. You don't want to hear about Taylor Swift. You're here to listen to the Wheel of Time. So, yeah. So before we get into
the most
that,
awkward.
Jen, can you? Oh man, fix the podcast, Jen. What's happening?
Okay. Anyway, speaking of Taylor, it's Taylor Bowl weekend, and this is what's happening. So I only have 2 items tonight. So let's start it off with hashtag dog news.
Just for that?
No,
you got
not the scary
big
ones.
dog.
Daniel Henney has a film in theaters in Korea right now. Daniel writes on his Instagram, "Had so much fun on this. A beautifully touching and lighthearted little movie with dogs. Thanks to the amazing cast and crew, in theaters now in Korea. Hashtag Dog Days." So Dog Days was released this past Wednesday, February 7th. And according to comingsoon.net, the film will depict a hilariously woven omnibus story that will center around a veterinary hospital. The movie will follow the life stories of the owners who visit the veterinary clinic and the pet dogs they bring for checkups in the hospital. So we know how Daniel feels about dogs, so I'm sure he very much enjoyed being in this film. So if you live in Korea, check it out and let us know how it was. And we will look for an English dubbed or subtitled version. So let us know if you see one of those.
This poster that he posted.
Yes.
There's not one single dog in any of these pictures. I think there's a woman looks like she might be petting a dog, but the dog's cut out of the photo.
Is the girl on the left like one row down and like the
middle
whitish?
Yeah,
with the bangs.
Left.
Is that
the bangs?
Is that Sun from Lost?
I don't know. I didn't watch Lost.
I should have looked this up. I'm just looking at her now, and it looks like it was Jin and Sun, the couple on Lost. I think.
Where are
that's
the
her.
dogs?
I don't see any. Well, that's not a dog. I don't know what that is.
No, on the top
left. Like
left.
a stuffed animal that she's looking at.
No, the one on the top left.
Oh, the top left.
I think that's a dog that the person is smiling at and petting. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, maybe Jenny, Lesbian Nerdy, can get the movie for us. Maybe we can do a screening on her Discord. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm giving ideas. I'm going to message her. Go ahead, Jen.
Just for everyone who cares, Zool in chat has confirmed to me that yes, it is Sun. Don't know her real name, but she played Sun in Lost.
The Yoonjun Kim?
Maybe, sure. You sounded confident. So are you looking it up or are you just remembering it?
I've never seen an episode of Lost.
Oh my God, you guys, come on.
Yes.
It's
Watch
too late.
Lost.
It's too late.
No, it's not too late.
Yeah.
Good. I want to watch it
Do
again.
people actually still watch Lost? Like, would people who've never seen Lost be like, oh, I think now I'm going to finally watch Lost?
I don't know, but they should.
Well, I also I've
Like
watched
20 years ago.
shows
No,
that are old.
I'm not saying that. I'm talking about Lost, not just any of the shows. I'm saying Lost specifically.
I think
Like, don't
the
you
fact
feel like,
that like it's
you've missed the boat on
generally
it?
understood it didn't stick the ending. Like I think that like
Not
hurts
even
it.
that. But it's
I
just
like
that,
the
like,
ending.
I think we just missed it. It's done. It's like,
All right. Well, maybe
I
if
don't
you're
know.
like really bored one day, you'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna watch like all these episodes of Lost.
maybe a new generation will watch it
Right.
because they didn't live
should.
through it. It's
Really good
different.
show. Anyway, watch out for our Lost podcast. I need Brendan here to come up with the name of our Lost podcast.
Did he watch Lost?
I don't know.
What was some of the characters' names on
Talk a
there?
hatch Riyadh.
Talk a smoke monster, Riyadh?
No, that doesn't fit, Joe.
Doesn't fit. That's all I know about Lost. Is
No,
there's a
about the smoke monster.
and a hatch. Well, because your husband used to
Hatch.
every week he would go onto like the websites and read about the the Lost breakdowns or whatever when we were at work.
Yeah, I had extensive week by week breakdowns of the show from your husband, so I do know what happens in pretty much every episode.
I never paid attention.
I would maybe
but don't tell
not
me.
Potty's boat. Maybe that, I don't know, instead of not Penny's boat.
Oh, not Penny's boat. Oh, not Penny's
Yeah.
boat.
Not Talkie's
Penny's
boat.
boat. Not Penny's boat. My God.
Not talk.
Sorry. All right.
Talk around Riyadh.
Anyway, okay.
Okay.
Next up tonight, hey, Rosamund Pike wants you to relax. She has partnered on this Instagram post with the Luminate app, and she has this to say.
Oh, this is a free ad. This is a free advertisement, by the way. We're doing.
It
here.
is. It is.
You're just doing an ad for an ad.
Well, then maybe they could pay us. Inviting you to take 15 minutes today to slow down. A little session voiced by me using techniques scientifically proven to quiet your inner critic. Available for free on the Luminate app. For newcomers, this is a fully immersive, consciousness-shifting strobe experience available through your phone. The cool thing is you turn your screen away. Take a moment to be in the moment. Love from me. Hashtag psychedelic. Hashtag meditation. So accompanying this is a video of Rosamund talking about the app. And I feel like I need to try it because her voice is so soothing. And if you click the link in her bio, the loving kindness session that she's talking about is available for free for 5 days. You can definitely afford free. So put down what you're doing right now or wait until you finish listening to this podcast and download the Luminate app to be lulled into relaxation by Rosamund Pike.
So I'm sorry. While you were talking, I was reading the comments on this, and there's like a comment thread below it that's kind of funny and interesting. So this one person, Emmy Cordero, replies, "Hi, Mom, I love you." So I was like, what? That's weird. So I clicked to see what the replies were. So Rosamund replies back, "Hi." And then Emmy replies back again in all caps, "You just killed me. Oh, my God, I love you so much." I don't know what that is.
I think it's just like I'm so excited I just
Yeah.
can't type.
Then Canon Angels replies, "How are you feeling after Rosamund Pike responded to your comment? Are you still with us?" And then Emmy responded, "I'm dead."
So, like, I guess...
And then
you
somebody
turn-
responds also, the only valid response, "You are so lucky." I guess lucky just to have Rosamund reply to her.
Yes.
This is fun. Go ahead.
I guess you turn the phone and it flashes from your light, from your,
so I've
flashlight?
confession here. I tried the app after seeing when Rosamund first was posting about it. It's literally like you put the phone like basically like whatever distance, I forget what it tells you to put the phone in front of your face, like not very far. It's like 6 to 8 or 8 to 10 inches or something, and then it literally just flashes like in weird patterns.
the light on your phone, though.
Yeah,
Like, you put it this way.
like the camera light. It just flashes in weird
Yeah.
patterns and like.
What if you have
to-
epilepsy?
You're supposed to close.
you can't
Then
get-
you shouldn't do the app.
Okay.
You should definitely
Okay, well,
not use the app. And I'm pretty sure it says that in the beginning. But you're supposed to close your eyes. Obviously, you don't keep your eyes open during it. But you still the light obviously is coming through your lids, and it's really weird. I didn't do any of the one. I think did I do one with Rosamund Pike? I don't remember now. But
You did it after I think she first advertised for it. I don't know what you did, but I remember us talking about the fact that like it's clearly designed to hypnotize you and take all your money.
yeah, probably. I don't know. I think I did maybe send them some money afterwards. But anyway, yeah, go check it out if you're curious. It was definitely interesting. I'll tell you that much. So, free advertising.
Yes. So that's all I have. Back to you, Joe.
All right, we got some news to talk about today, thanks to our friends over at WattSeries.com. They recently released an article and revealed a new cast member for Season 3 of The Wheel of Time. That's what we're talking about here. So they recently reported that actor Paul Maynard will be playing Jack Alcine.
Boom.
So Jack Alcine, if you recall, is a stocky and square-shouldered, gray-haired Two Rivers farmer. He's the one that Perrin, when Perrin goes back to the Two Rivers, he's out on the farm with his family and friends. Lord Luke tells them like they should stay out, and, on the farms. And then Perrin's like, no, that's dumb. You need to come back to Emond's Field. And they do because he's ta'veren. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
I think we theorized in an earlier audition script that was found by our friends at What Series that was who Perrin was speaking to was Jack Alcine.
I know the
Tom, I
pieces are
think
coming
you
together.
specifically theorized that. I think you can give yourself credit for that one. I feel like you personally mentioned Jack Alcine recently.
It's possible. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was about to say Daniel Maynard. Paul Maynard, he's not really anybody that you probably know. Most of the roles that he played are not named roles. He was on Carnival Row. Well, Chopper 8, I guess, is a name maybe in that show. I don't know.
Chopper 8?
Chopper 8. I don't know
Is that what you
means.
said?
Yeah, Chopper 8. That's what he's credited as in Carnival Row. I don't know if that's a character's name or just like there were people
He's a
chopping.
chopper? What's it? Yeah.
There were like a large group of people chopping wood, and
they all spoke. 8 of them had lines.
Yes. He also played Merc Emergency Doctor in Extraction 2. Oh, he's in John Carpenter's Suburban Screams.
I don't see that one.
No, my wife was watching it during Halloween. She watched like 1 or 2 episodes, but it wasn't really that good. Sorry, everybody. He played Brian Norwood, so if you watch that and remember the character Brian Norwood, that is Paul Maynard.
It's a very normal name. I don't
Paul
know.
Maynard or Brian?
No, Brian Norwood. Brian Norwood is just like
Scott
what
Norwood.
do you do? It's like I'm an accountant. I don't know.
Yeah, he's like
in
like
a very
I don't know. Accounting, finance, definitely.
Not like Joe Perry.
No.
It's a crazy name.
Joe Perry's the lead guitarist of Aerosmith.
Yeah. Screams Party. Yeah, so thoughts on the casting, I'd say more so on like revealing that now we're getting Jack Alcine. I think the role, are we going to get that scene in the show? Is he literally there to do that scene?
He is. Done.
All right. Tom, you agree?
The Jack Alcine.
Yeah, it's the Jack Alcine. That sounds like something like a British person says. Oh, Jack Alcine. I don't know. I didn't say it with a British accent, so it didn't work out well, but should have done that.
Let's do this, Jack Alcine.
Oh, Jack Alcine.
Lord, the sixes and sevenses.
I can't say it.
Jack Alcine. Yeah, I agree with Jen's edict. I think that I think that he's in there. I think you're going to have that scene in some form on the show. I think that it'll be a pivotal kind of Perrin. I think it'll be like the first time that Perrin's like taking an active leadership role in the Two Rivers if he doesn't understand that he is. So I think it's a pretty big deal.
Is this another flag in the cap of Slayer being on the show?
Yeah, I think
Didn't make any sense what I said, so I know you would.
Another flag in the cap? Yeah, I was thinking about that one.
I might have used that phrase wrong, but
I think you
guys
just made a phrase. I don't think you uses it wrong. I don't think it's used.
No, flag in the cap is a phrase.
Like a feather in your cap?
Feather in your cap.
Yeah, there's a feather in a cap.
Thank you. Feather in your cap. I was thinking of those little flags, the little ones that they put on on toothpicks.
Yeah.
Just sticking those in my cap.
Those.
Okay.
So
I think it's
so Slayer. Then it is Jack Alcine leads to Slayer, because we heard in that scene in that audition script they mentioned Lord Luke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Good. I like the way we're all thinking. There's also another comment in here about Yvonne and Emmanuel Imani. You know, there was some speculation that he might not be back for season 3 because he's got, working on some other projects. But they did notice that on his new CV credit, it includes season 3 in it. So it's potential that he's back. So
what happened? He just was in the bathroom at the end of season 2?
I don't know if that has anything to do with any of this. So there's no proof.
It's weird that he's not there. Like, to the point where I just assumed he was there.
I mean, they could have. He might have had to go. Like, maybe he did have to go on. Like, he was already committed to something else, and he needed to be there, and he couldn't film that last scene. And they were just like, okay. He was like, just go because it's not really important that you're there anyway.
Yes.
I don't know.
Obviously, it doesn't matter, right? We all thought he was there, so he didn't actually have to be there.
And there's one.
All right, well, that's good. I like him, so I'm glad he's back.
I like him too. He had a nice role in this last season. He got to speak some more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wanted to point out that there's one other piece of information in this article that is inspiring the topic for our show today. And that is that they've also been able to identify the title of episode 7 of season 3. And the title is none other than Golden Eyes, which makes sense. And that this episode is going to be written by Dave Hill, who wrote episode 4 and the last 2 seasons.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dave Hill, also a Game of Thrones alum. He wrote a lot, I think, on Game of Thrones. So he's been one of the better writers on the show, the more consistent writers, I would say. Just, those are 2 of probably the more popular episodes of the show. That's cool. That's the final block. So that's Kieran Donnelly, who will be directing that block as well, who, directed the last block in the first season under unfortunate circumstances. So now we've got 2 titles. We've got the first one, What Series had reported that one a little while ago, To Race the Shadow, and now we've got episode 7 as Golden Eyes. So do we want to guess and talk about what we think is going to happen in this chapter?
Sure. I was surprised and a little bit I don't want to say disappointed, but I would say I was a little bit let down by that. Because I think that's by far the strongest ending in The Shadow Rising.
Yes, 100%.
And I feel like episode 7 being called Golden Eyes lends me to believe that that's going to be the end of that storyline, and that episode 8 will resolve other storylines.
Yes, that's what I assume that it is
the Battle of Two Rivers is in that episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's got to be. I mean, here's the one thing I could say that maybe not, because in this season 2, the episode Damane was literally, she didn't become Damane till the very last scene of the episode. And then her being Damane
but he's got golden eyes all the time now.
There were Damane in the episode, too. There were other Damane, and they were talking about Damane.
That's true.
I think 2 out of the 3 of us called the fact that the episode named Damane would end with Egwene being captured.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one of us didn't.
I think it was
like 2 of us.
Jen. I don't think I had it that way.
But it's possible, but no, I'm pretty sure it's episode 7, which in most shows is the big battle-y, action-y climax piece of the season.
Yeah.
And I think that's no, not so far, but maybe this time. And I do think it'll be I do think they're going to pull out all the stops for that.
Well, there's a lot of potential climaxes at the end of this storyline. So, end of this book, I would say. So,
yeah,
we could have 1 in 7.
Yeah. So, what we're going to do now is attempt to figure out what the other episode titles are going to be. We all took a trip in the time machine, and we've seen the whole 3rd season already. So, but we're not allowed to tell you about it. But we are allowed to share the episode titles, although none of ours will match. And the reason for that is because you'll have to figure it out yourself which ones are the real episode titles. That was the deal.
We can talk about the time machine, but we can't talk about the Wheel of Time season 3.
No, we can't. No. That was the deal we made when we went to the future.
I guess they figured no one would believe us about the time machine.
Yeah, that's why I told them, so they wouldn't believe us. It was a reverse psychology thing. I'll cut that out of the podcast. So
the purloined letter.
Okay, so we have episode 1 we know is going to be To Race the Shadow, which is an interesting title. When we first heard about this, like the thought was, well, what's this episode going to be about? Like, what shadow are they racing to
A shadow.
Is the shadow coming to
They're
them and they're trying to run away
to-
from it, or they're racing to the shadow in this
No,
first
they're
episode?
racing with they're racing in a race to get to a place.
Yeah.
The shadow is also going
Where are they racing to though in this episode?
to all different locations.
Multiple
to the
plots,
two
yeah.
rivers.
Is the shadow
to
following
the
them all?
waste,
But the shadow
to
doesn't go.
Ten-
The shadow does go to the waist. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the shadow's
Tenchika.
everywhere. So they're getting there. They want to race the shadow and get to the places.
Yes.
The shadow's already in Tanchico. Well,
Oh,
at least
yeah,
it was in the books.
But-
Well, you know, I mean, the
To
shadow's
race the
already everywhere, but
race the
Are they
shadow
racing the
except
shadow-
for Tenchico because it's already there.
Well, they're
That was too
racing
long
the
of a
shadow
title.
to get the item that the shadow's looking for. Right? It's a race
There's
to
a
get to the
different
item.
race
Yeah.
in every location, I guess.
Okay.
yeah.
You want to be literal about it.
All right, let's get literal. All right, so that was the easy one.
Let's get literal.
Because we have it already. So episode 2, Tom, what do you think? You got your thoughts? on what you
Episode
think
2
it's
is
gonna be called?
entitled.
So,
I do.
I'm
I have,
sorry,
I have a whole. I'm going to tell you what it is.
I want to say one thing though, just for people maybe who don't know, but all of the episodes of the show so far have been chapters from the books. Just in case someone didn't know that, I just wanted to preface that. So these are all chapters from the books, chapter titles.
Oh, if I had chapter title that says "You're fucked," that's probably not going to be correct, right?
No, that's
No,
definitely
I
not a
don't
chapter
remember
title.
that one.
Okay.
But it doesn't have to be a
I
chapter
think- I
title.
think that-
I would just say it's very likely that it's going to be a chapter title.
Okay.
Yeah. And so now they have not all been from the books that have been adapted in
Yeah.
that season, but I did actually that's not true. Most of these are from the Shadow Rising. Episode 2 is entitled Homecoming.
Oh, okay.
In that episode, Perrin returns to the Two Rivers, Rand returns to his homeland, and Elida returns to the tower.
I have episode 3 as Homeland. Homecoming, sorry, Homeland.
Which one?
I have episode 3 as Homecoming. I used that same chapter title, and I had Perrin getting back to the Two Rivers in that
That's
chapter.
because it's right.
So Aurora's suggesting if Leandra returns to Tanchico in episode 2, I think she does. I have in episode 1 is her revealing that they're going there. It's probably them leaving the tower, and like it's revealed that they have evil plans. But yeah, I think that works.
Yeah. Okay, so you have everybody.
So that's what I have. I
you
think
have
that's
everybody
episode
getting
2.
to their destinations in episode 2.
Not everybody.
Well, most people.
Not everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have. Episode 2 does not have Tenchico in it,
Okay.
really, or it doesn't have the heroic characters in Tenchico.
Okay. My second episode is entitled Into the Doorway. I'm cramming it in here, man.
Oh.
I'm just going to keep putting it in just because I want to put it in. That's right. Whether it's going to be in the
That's
show or
fine.
not. And we're having the Aelfin or the Eelfin or both of them or whatever the hell you want to do in the second
So
episode.
does this include also into the Waygate doorway?
No, there's
No,
no
I'm
way.
sorry, forget it.
Into the
No,
ways.
it was a portal stone. I'm thinking it was a Waygate, but it was a portal stone in the
Well,
book to go to the
Perrin
waste.
uses the ways.
How are
Yes,
they getting
go
to
to
the
the
waste?
waste.
Maybe they use a ways to get to the waste.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
definitely. I
sure
have a
they will
feeling-
use.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's gonna. I don't know what else they could do unless they want to introduce portal stones now, when it seems kind of a waste because
A waste.
it seems kind of a waste. So yeah, I think
They're
they're-
never used again.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think they'll probably use the ways. So there could be another ways title. What is that? What you have, Jen?
No, I'm saying you said into the doorway. Like maybe there's more than one doorway in that episode.
Oh,
That's what I'm
like
suggesting is that Rand's also going through like the Waygate doorway to get to the waste. I'm helping you a little bit.
oh,
I'm trying to.
thanks. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I yeah,
Think
so
about
that's the reason why I called it that. I'm putting it in here. We're going into the land of the Finn.
Okay.
What do you got there?
My second episode is called Winds Rising.
Are they on a boat? Are we
it's
on?
like-
Mhm.
There could be, that was one of my ideas. The winds are taking the boat to Tenchico, but also, everything's starting to happen again.
Is
Things
this the
are
chapter title? Oh,
being
like
set into motion. The wind, and I just realized I actually did something that I didn't realize I did, where I maybe kind of referenced that later on in another episode. But at this point, we're just like the story. Everybody's starting their individual stories. The winds are rising.
Yeah, we're getting right. There's some information that we're getting Sea Folk in this season, so
Yes.
There is.
Oh yeah.
so that's a good one. I saw that too, Jen. I wanted to put something in there about like I was trying to look for like a Tenchiko chapter title for that, and I was looking at that one as potential. And then I was like, I don't know if they're gonna go on a boat, or at least you won't see them on a boat.
Like what Tom said, like not every chapter, they're from like random books, but it was just too much work to look at every single chapter title from every book.
Oh no, I didn't do that.
So I looked at Fires of Heaven, and I have I looked at Shadow Rising, and I have a couple from Fires of Heaven.
Nice.
But this one was from Shadow Rising.
I have a mixture as well, a nice medley. All right, Tom. Episode 3.
All right. So episode 3 for me is entitled Deceptions.
Oh, these are too generic. This is one
you-
of those generic ones that I was like, I can't pick this one.
Yeah. I like this one a lot because I think it's thematic for this season.
That's chapter 17 of the Shadow Rising.
In this episode, you find out the Sea Folk can channel, right, which is a deception that they have with the mainland. You find out that everything in Tenchiko is bad, right? It's a rat's nest full of scum and villainy. You meet Lord Luke. He's a liar face. You meet the White Cloaks in the Two Rivers, and you see how they're also duplicitous. Everything is great in the tower. You don't have to worry about that. And the Wise Ones also, like Rand gets the sense that they're not being honest with him. So I think this is the episode where you find out everywhere you go, people have secret agendas, and that not all is what it seems.
I was going to think that maybe this would be potential coup, storyline in here.
Oh, well, that's the storyline progresses, but I don't have the coup in this episode.
Yeah.
I also think this will be a good time, episode 3, for you to perhaps see some Forsaken conversation.
Maybe a
between
cold
Forsaken.
open. We'll have to do an episode
Maybe.
2 predicting cold opens. I already said I had mine as Homecoming, which is chapter 29 of the Shadow Rising. This would mainly be Perrin going back to the Two Rivers and seeing everybody, and finding out all that's going on there. That'd be a big focus of the episode. All right, Jen, your episode 3.
Okay. Episode 3. What can be learned in dreams?
Ooh.
I was so tempted to use one of one of the Teleron Riyadh chapter titles.
So this could be Egwene maybe starting to talk to the Wise Ones about dreaming. Could be something with Moghedien and Teleron Riyadh. Could be Perrin in the Wolf Dream.
Oh,
there's a lot of options for this
question.
one, I think.
In episode 1,
Yes.
are we getting a scene where Egwene's in Teleron Riyadh and the Wise Ones visit her?
Yes.
Oh, like by accident she's in Teleron Riyadh?
It doesn't matter. I don't care that. I'm just saying that we're gonna get it. Like, do you think we're gonna get a
Like
scene?
she didn't go there on purpose. She like in a dream.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, I'm trying to think of, does Egwene? Oh, because she's already in there from the Tirangriel, and then they just like run into each other. I don't know, but then is that the reason that I can't get my words out?
You're
Would it
thinking
be
too much of
weird
this.
if in the same episode Rand figures out that he has to go to the Waste, and also Egwene is like, "Oh, me too," like literally in the same episode?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all gonna happen.
Pretty
in the
much
same
what happens in the books.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
at
but
the
she
end
was
of the
already
episode.
doing dreaming stuff before that in the book.
It's going
I
to
don't
be.
know.
I have a feeling it's going to be something like the beginning of. Is it the Dragon Reborn where they're up in the mountains and they're just like waiting for Rand to figure out what he's going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, it's also in the Shadow Rising, beginning of the Shadow Rising. They're waiting for Rand to see what he's going to do. So it's going to be. I feel like the first episode is going to be that. Like, it's going to be them all in Falm. Rand's going to be like procrastinating. Moiraine's going to be like pressuring him into like making a decision on what to do and blah, 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 blah. And then this stuff's going to happen. Like, you're going to get Egwene being visited by the Wise Ones. And I don't know what the Tenchiko, how they're going to unravel that. But, and then at the end of the episode, they're like, we got to go to the Waste. And Egwene's like, yeah, so do I. I got to go too. People talk to me in a dream. Anyway, I'm sorry. We went backwards and we're getting a little too far into that part. But so you were saying, Jen, chapter 3, I'm sorry, episode 3?
I said it. What can be that was why we were talking about it.
No,
What can
I
be
know,
learned
but
in
you was
dreams?
talking about, I kind of interrupted you when you were talking about like what you thought would happen in the episodes.
Oh no, that was it. I just
Okay.
said like different people in Tel'aran'rhiod or the Wolf Dream, like throughout the episode.
Gotcha.
Let me ask you this: is there a Stone Ring Terangrial in the series, and or do Nynaeve and Elaine also spend time in the World of Dreams in this season?
I would.
I want there to be a
Remember-
Stone Ring Terangrial, but I don't think Egwene is gonna need it right now. I don't know. Maybe the other girls can use it because they're not dreamers. Maybe they can find that, like in Tenchiko or something, or get it from the Black Aja.
So it's
or
much
or something like that, so they can meet with her and she doesn't need it. You know,
it's much easier as like, you know, writing the show to not have to have like a specific magical item to do that, because then they could just have whoever they need to have do it and just be like they're the only ones who can do it. They have the talent or whatever.
Yeah, but if they're gonna meet in Tel'aran'rhiod, then they kind of need to all be able to go in there.
To me, it's more about do you get Birgitte on the show? Right.
Yes.
Well, Birgitte is in the World of Dreams, and like, if you're gonna do that, then you need to have Nynaeve and Elaine in the World of Dreams to become friends with her. And if you do that, then how do they get in the World of Dreams? So either it's something that any channeler like
only certain
can
ones
do with just training, which
Could be. It could be that Egwene teaches them how to do it after the wise ones teach her. But
Right. I mean, I feel like for the show, it's easier just to do that than to have a magical. I don't know. I don't know, and they seem to do stuff like that, so I can see them just getting rid of it.
Mhm.
But I'd like to get Terangrial introduced
just-
into the show somehow, so it would be a good opportunity to do that. They haven't talked about them yet.
well, they had one in the first season, but
That's
they didn't really.
They had a
Angrial,
Saw
right?
Angriel, but they haven't.
No,
talked
they have
about Tira.
they have the
Love Shack,
Dream Hut Terangrial.
but they never say what they never
what?
say it's
Yeah.
a Terangrial.
Yeah, the Love Shack. The
also the rings are a Terangrial too. But they don't really they didn't mention that either.
Oh,
They
yeah, the
accept
arches.
test. Isn't that
The Arches, yeah.
yeah.
They don't.
Yeah, they
oh,
just
I
haven't
think they
gone
did
into
say
like
it.
what those things are called.
Yeah, I think they did say Terangrial in season 2. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so they did introduce it.
Mhm.
All right.
All right.
Episode 4. Tom.
Okay. I have episode 4 is entitled What Lies Hidden. Episode 4, you see Slayer and the Tower of Genji in the Wolf Dream. You see more Forsaken hiding and planning, and this is the episode where it starts to heavily hint that they might be in the waste, and you don't know where. The tower split happens in this episode.
Oh.
And the episode, and Rand and whomever is with Rand that does this enter Rhuidean in this episode. You don't see anything; they just go in, and it's hidden. Like really, that's what lies. That's the direct, like what lies hidden. That city in the clouds, right? But these other things are all other hidden things that are happening in this episode.
Gotcha. I like that one. What Lies Hidden. So I have a different chapter title. I was hoping some of us would pick the same ones for the same episodes, because that would be just bonkers. But my chapter, I'm sorry, I keep saying chapter 4. My episode 4 title is He Who Comes with the Dawn.
I like that.
episode
I like
4?
that.
I think it might be too early, but I needed to fit it in there. So it's possible
Probably
that
the first
episode,
mention of it.
yeah, possible that episode 4 is Rhuidean, and that sounds like a cooler chapter title than Rhuidean, or not chapter title, episode title than Rhuidean. I feel like it's such a cool episode title. I think that's going to be in the show in season 3 somewhere.
Okay,
What about you, Jen?
I like it.
Okay, sorry I'm not cool, but I put Rhuidean as the chapter as episode.
I had it as Rhuidean, Jen, and then I
It's
removed it
not a
because I was
cool
like,
title.
this one is cooler. That's Jen. I literally had Rhuidean as the title, and then I was like, oh wait, this is way cooler than Rhuidean.
Whatever. So that's Rhuidean. I say Rhuidean.
I
think
say
that's
Rhuidean as well.
I
They
think
say
you're supposed to-
Rhuidean on the audiobook.
I don't remember. I say
I
Rhuidean,
don't.
but I think it is Rhuidean.
Yeah. I read it
But
as Rhuidean when I
Rhuidean.
was reading the
Rhuidean.
books, but I think I was corrected at one point. It's supposed to be Rhuidean.
Yeah, I think so.
hope
It
it's
is.
Rhuidean.
Yeah, just keep saying it. Anyway, so we have like similar things happening then in episode 4. Then Jen, at least our very high
Yeah,
level
well, I mean, we
first
should-
impressions.
We should have similar things happening through the whole.
So you're hitting that
Everyone,
beat.
yes.
Both of you are hitting
Yeah.
that beat
Yes.
on episode
I
4.
think
Right.
Tom might be coming up right behind us.
Yes.
Not mistaken.
Yes. Well, yes, and I wanted to hold true. I've been saying this for a while. I really do think in season 3 the tower coup should happen, and that then you don't find out what happens next.
Yeah.
And I think it immediately goes to, for me, episode 5 is Rordian. That is not in the typical sense of the word. It's a bottle episode. It's just what happens there. You don't see any other storylines.
You have the tower coup happening in episode 4, and then we don't go back to them at all for 4 more episodes, like until season 4.
I think I actually have in here. I think that you see, like, I think that Logain and Party or whoever's in the tower and escapes from it in the show.
Is that the cold close the season?
Yeah, it's one of the closes of season 4 is that you see them like
season
that
3.
they're out in the world or whatever. And it might go so far as like they skip all of the stuff that happens to them on the road, and it's just them walking into Saladar.
They're just in Saladar. Yeah, they're already in Saladar. I could see that happen. I could see the cold ending being, well, they cut away from the coup.
Yeah.
You don't know what happened. You don't know what happens to Swan or anybody. Like, you don't know if she's dead or alive or whatnot. And then, like, it ends with, like, her and Logain and Leane and I guess just the 3 of them. I don't know. Gareth Bryn, maybe? Who the fuck knows? Just walking.
That's called a hot close.
Is that what it's called? A hot close?
Yeah, officially it's called a hot close.
Okay, the hot close. That makes sense. Cold open. You want to open cold and you want to close hot.
Hot close. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Hot. But yeah. So 5 for me is Rordian. It's and it's like you're gonna see all of them go in. I don't think there's gonna be any unless Matt is with Rand until now and then like goes into Rordian, ends up in Tanjiko, which is something that we theorize could possibly happen, or the reverse, whatever. I don't think you see anything else that happens in there. I think this is just Rand going through the columns. That's the whole episode.
All right. I have episode 5 entitled The Tinker's Sword. Again, I chose the chapter title because it was a cool chapter title. So some of them I really didn't do a lot of thinking.
It is a cool title.
I was like, you know what? This is just a cool chapter title. So I'm going to put this here. And maybe the Tinkers are there, and maybe we see some sort of incident where Aaron picks up his sword. But
like that.
More Perrin, right? Because there's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of Perrin in this season. So some of these are Perrin chapter titles: Homecoming, The Tinker's Sword, Golden Eyes, all Perrin focused. So there you go.
Okay. My episode 5 is called To Teach and Learn.
Ooh.
I also just really liked this chapter title because I feel like they're all kind of like, I'm trying to think of the right words. They're all in their stories and they're kind of in charge of their own stories, but they still aren't like on top. There's still stuff they can learn from the people around them.
Yeah.
So I think like,
so you could have
they're
Egwene
still
learning.
like they're not fully grown into their positions yet.
Is this where Rand finally learns how to use the sword?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. But
Maybe,
I think, yeah.
Maybe.
I 100% was thinking of that time when she first said it. And then I was going to say that, but I like also Egwene learning from the wise ones as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Perrin with Hopper too.
I feel like Egwene is going to come into this season like hot, and she's going to have to be like suppressed a little bit.
Yeah, you thought
like
she was going to
the wise ones are going to like bring her down a little, especially after like talking to Madeline and her being, saying like Egwene's different and she powered all the way up, and now she's like, I'll take care of myself and I'll protect everyone. I feel like she's going to have to be like taken down a couple of notches by the wise ones.
Oh, here we go. Gabe came up with a good the Tinker's Sword ran through Rhuidean experience as well. You could see you'll actually see Tinkers, picking up the swords and becoming the like the Aiel.
Well, not the swords.
Well, not the swords, but yes.
Right. Yeah, I like that too. Like there's a we talked about this on a prior episode, but I didn't realize that the first few times I ever read A Shadow Rising, really just the great mirroring resonance between Rand in the middle of the books learning the Aiel's secret history, and then later on in the books you see Aram making the same choice.
Yeah.
That kind of like original sin of the Aiel just gets repeated again. You know, I think it's they have to have that. Like, I'm very glad you made that a title.
Yeah, it's a cool one.
All right.
Me for episode 6.
Sorry, we're up to episode
All
6.
right.
Go ahead, Tom.
Episode 6 for me is entitled Veils. This has the girls undercover in Tanchico.
Oh.
I really do hope they have the bit of physical comedy that I like. You have to like pay attention to realize is happening in the books, where Elaine just complains about the veils all the time because they get stuck in her mouth because she looks at everybody like down her nose.
With it, yep.
So like she's looking around like this, and the veils get stuck in her mouth. I think that's funny. So I hope they do a bit like that. I don't know what like I imagine, especially because they're adding a bunch of characters to it, that the storyline Tanchico is going to be significantly different than what is in the books. Like if there's a Panarch's Palace or whatever, but I do think that you're going to have that stuff. I think this is when Moghedien reveals herself to be there to them. You're going to have that scene in some format where she kind of compels them. You have Perrin rallying the two rivers like all together. So I think this might be an episode. This is the episode where I imagine the Aram thing is going to happen, but it's also like the part where like Perrin is like, we cannot win this battle. Like,
Yeah.
and he knows that. And then this also will have Rand calling. He's now out of Rhuidean. He's going to call all the Aiel together so he can announce his presence with authority.
I have mine. It's funny because I have mine called The Woman of Tanchico as the chapter title. And this is back from The Dragon Reborn, this chapter title. I was looking to see what the Tanchico chapters were in The Shadow Rising, and I did not like the titles of any of them. They were not cool. And they're not going to use titles that aren't cool. So I went back, looked through The Dragon Reborn.
I think Veils is a good episode title.
Yeah, it's okay. Not when you have all these other cool ones, though, Tom. There's Revelations in Tanchico.
All right, fine.
I could have put that one, but I like The Woman of Tanchico. But I don't know. Like it would have to either refer to a specific woman or maybe, and I don't know. We don't know at what point Tom's returning. But that's the tavern I think where Matt meets up with Tom in The Dragon Reborn after he's healed from the dagger. So this could be the reunion episode where Matt and Tom's in Tanchico. He shows up there and meets up with the girls and Matt and starts helping them out. So there you go. That's my Tanchico chapter.
Okay.
I hope we get Tom earlier than episode 7.
Probably.
Me too. It's episode 6.
Yeah.
This is 6. Yes.
But yeah.
Oh, episode 6. Yeah.
6.
Okay. So my episode 6 is called The Breaking Storm.
Nice.
Ooh, that was
which
a cool
I didn't
chapter
realize
title.
I did, but kind of ties into Winds Rising. What were you going to say?
That was one of them I was looking at. That was a cool title. I was trying to work that in there.
Yeah. I feel like all the storylines can kind of be not coming to a head yet, but like we're kind of seeing where everything is going to play out for the rest of the season at this point.
Well, the breaking storm, though, like when a storm breaks, it means it's like subsides, right? I don't remember what's in this chapter.
No, doesn't that mean it's when it's like kicks in?
No. When a storm finally breaks, that means it's like over. It's like going away.
Yeah, it breaks apart. But I know what Jen means, and it works for me, Jen.
Yeah. This is a Perrin chapter. It was when the Trollocs attack. They do like their test attack, and the Two Rivers folk push them back.
What, this chapter?
Yeah, that's the storm they're breaking. There's Trollocs attack the Two Rivers. It's like
that's the actual.
It's a small.
Yes,
it's the actual.
They break the storm.
Yes,
of Trollocs. Yeah. All right.
All right, so chapter
we know episode 7
is Golden Eyes.
Golden Eyes.
I don't know. You think anything different? You think they're wrong? No. Okay. Chapter. Episode 8. Episode 8. Tom, go for it.
Episode 8, I have it called Glowing Embers, which is the last chapter in The Fires of Heaven. And I do think that I like that as like I like this season as being a season where you think it is building, like the first 2 seasons did, building towards a resolution that like deals with the imminent threat of the season. And at the end of the season, you realize that no, all this has done is just stoke the fire for more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I called it Glowing Embers. I think you have Nynaeve and Moghedien fighting in here. I think you have Rand revealing himself and the Shido bolting. And you have Rand capturing Asmodean.
All right. I have 2 potential chapter titles. I'm going to run them both by you and see what you think. First one's a little more...
2?
Yeah, I couldn't decide because I didn't know how I wanted the season to end. And the first one is a little... it's a little out there. This is a Fires of Heaven chapter entitled The Fifth I Give You. So
I was thinking of that. I was also thinking of that.
I have the Aiel coming out of the waste and attacking whoever they're attacking, the Shido or whatever.
No.
Or sacking Cairhien or whatever city they're going to sack.
I do think this season ends with the Shido crossing the Dragon Wall.
Okay.
Like I think that they bolt while Rand's dealing with Asmodean, and like when he comes back, they're already gone.
That's a good hot close for the season.
Yeah, I think that's the main close, and then you just the hot close is that the Aes Sedai have formed a rebel camp, and now there's like 2 towers.
I don't know. I feel like you could do another thing where there's like very innocent looking people, and then you just see like Shido pouring
a wave of spears
towards them.
Yeah, like. I think either way works. Yeah. I think for an ending.
A tidal wave of spears. The other.
So what was your other? Yeah.
The other one is This Place, This Day, which is also a Fires of Heaven chapter.
Which one is that?
This
Place, This Day. Is that
could
the
be
battle?
That's the end.
What is it?
That might be the battle. It's chapter
battle, right?
43.
I could see that as being like a Dumais Wells episode title.
I do think Dumais Wells is just going to be called Dumais Wells.
You think?
I think if they get to that point, it's going to be like there are certain episodes of Game of Thrones where it was just called like the thing that you were waiting to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if it gets to that point, it's just going to be called that. Like, it's not a spoiler for anyone who doesn't know what happens.
Oh, this is the chapter where I guess they're attacking the Shido, like they go up on the tower, Rand and Egwene and Aviendar, and they're channeling at the Shido.
Yeah,
and then
it's like this is the middle of the battle. Yeah.
Is this the first time that Rand hears Lews Therin in his head say Ilyena? Because he almost loses the void in the shock of like hearing that. It might be.
I don't know if it's the first time he hears. It's that like he's been hearing him all this.
That would be something cool to happen at the end of the season. You hear you hear Lews Therin's voice in Rand's
Well, we need
head.
to know who Ilyena is.
But yeah, we could get a cold open flashback because I put them all in the second season. None of them that wasn't correct. Yeah. All right, so
I think you have a good bet for that. Rand's gonna have 2 love interests before this season's out. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
okay, Jen, what do you got? Episode 8.
So I have an episode title I think Tom already used. What Lies Hidden?
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
So I like that because it's like, there's still a lot. You could see the remaining Forsaken are still plotting out there. There's a lot of stuff that hasn't been brought to the surface yet. Still to come.
It could also be the reveal of Lanfear and Asmodean in this episode.
Could be that too.
Yeah.
I like that in there. And maybe some Slayer. No, I don't know.
Slayer should be done by this point. If Golden is episode 7.
Right. I think you find out who Slayer is.
Yeah.
Like I think Perrin finds out who Slayer is in episode 7. I think readers should figure it out like episode 4 or 5 or whatever.
Do you think that he's going to be called Slayer on the show? Because they would have to do the same thing with like him seeing a vision and then interpreting it as Slayer, because you're not going to hear the wolves say anything to him, or like you know what I mean.
The vision's going to be of the band Slayer, and he's going to be like Slayer.
Oh, okay.
And then they're going to play Slayer,
I guess.
It's going to be a picture of Buffy. And
it's just Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Sounds like
it's
a movie.
Buffy and what's the other Faith? Slayers?
Oh yeah, she's
and then
Slayer.
They just drop an S.
I like that. That's good.
Do you think that they're gonna do Slayer being 2 people in one body, or do you think he's just gonna be Lord Luke and he's Slayer?
I don't even know if he'll be Slayer. I think he'll just be like a guy that also can go to.
I feel like it's too much for them to fit in the story.
Yeah, it's
it is, nuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just,
But I think it's like
yeah.
it's too out there, and it's not necessarily needed. Like, you don't need to go into that backstory.
I don't think we're gonna know.
It never
like,
really pays off,
who
does
those
it? that
people
he's-
are, and like get into like Tigraine's
There's no payoff.
I
for
do
it.
think it sets.
Yeah.
I do think it sets up metaphysically, like some sort of groundwork for what happens to Rand at the end. Like, souls could be connected and they can share bodies and you could do stuff. And so, like, when Rand does that, it's like, okay, well, that happens. Things like that happen
swap
sometimes.
a body, though. They combine
But
into.
they just switched. Yeah, that's different. I feel like what Rand does.
I feel like it's
than what,
different,
like,
but-
It is different. Nobody else does what he does. But I think it, like, the more stuff that you can have with, like, souls and bodies, like,
yeah.
being shared, the more it sets up what happens at the end, if that's what they even do. I do like that. I do like the fact that he just gets a new body that works.
I'm not.
in
Yeah,
constant
I don't.
pain, but,
I'd keep that part in, but I don't know if I would talk about Slayer's background. And they could say that
Yeah,
he
I
was
think
merged, he's
Slayer
two men merged, or he looks different in both. I don't think they're going to do that just because then they have to get two different actors, and it seems like too complex for them to do, and unnecessarily complicated when they could just make it one person. But I guess, yeah, does the guy wear a mask in Teleran Riyadh that he can't see who he is? Or I don't even know how they would do
Isn't
that.
he just
where
like
wouldn't
really
know.
far away at first, and he's like fast, so he doesn't really get a good look at him, or he blurs his
First
face
time.
or something, right? Doesn't he?
Are they just
Or
gonna?
I'm thinking of something else.
No, that's
That might be
Superman.
that might be something else.
They're just gonna have like a blood
Yeah, no,
spot on his
he's
face
far
on
away the
screen.
first time he sees him. But after that, like, he gets a good look at him. He just doesn't look like Lord Luke
No,
at all, because
Yeah.
he looks like Land.
I think in the
Right.
show it's going to be too obvious if it's the same. If they use the same actor or don't, or even do it where you don't see his face, everyone's going to immediately think that's this new Lord Luke guy. I bet.
I don't know.
It's not going to take
Yeah,
long for people
I
to
think-
figure that out. If the fact that if you get two different actors to play it, and then all of a sudden you find out it's the same person, that's more mind blowing, I think, for the television.
Yeah, I think it's cooler to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to do it. I think you could just have, hey, there's Lord Luke. He's an asshole. But, like, I think it's cooler that he's magic, and it gives you more insight. Like, hey, in the world of dreams, anything can happen. This guy could look like that guy, and that also
All your
sets up.
dreams can
You don't
come
even
Hey,
have to
yo.
do it. You don't even have to do it in,
When
like, the
you
soul
wish
body merge swap thing.
upon a star.
You could do it in a way that it sets up later on the Mask of Mirrors, right? That, hey, people can change their appearance.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. We definitely need to be changing appearances. So it would be cool if they did get two different actors to do it. It'd be very cool. I just don't think they need to go into who. I mean, they could mention that he's two people merged into one, I guess, but they don't need to go into like who those people were, or are, or however you want to say it.
Right.
I think that's just.
Unless if Haley Mills is back in season 3, we'll know that they're going to go into the backstory.
Another prediction, another foretelling, right?
Right? She gave him that one too, right? She's the one who told Lord Luke.
Yeah, I think
that his
so.
destiny lie in the.
Yeah, pretty sure that was her. I had one other chapter title as like an honorable mention that could potentially be in there. I just really liked it. It was cool, and I had it in there, but I took it out for something else. It is The Road to the Spear. I like that as a chapter title, as an episode title as well. So,
I do as well. There's a bunch of. There were a bunch of titles that I thought worked well for the secret history of the Aiel. But I was also thinking, not only because I agree with you, you want episode titles that are cool, but I feel like you also want episode titles, and they like to do this, that have thematic resonance and aren't just about the thing that they're about.
Yeah.
So I tried to find titles that
yeah,
could play off of like multiple things that are happening in this season.
yeah. There's another leave takings chapter in The Shadow Rising, but I don't think they'll reuse that.
This is the last one, right? It's in a few books, leave takings.
Yeah, it's in a couple of them. I
Right?
don't
Isn't it
remember.
in the second book or the third book too?
I don't see it.
I think it's in The Great Hunt.
Dragon Reborn.
I thought so.
Yep, it's in The Great Hunt. Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
3 of the first 4 books. So I don't think we'll see it again. All right. I think it's a good time to wrap it up. I want to remind everyone to follow us on social media. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Join us over in Discord to continue the conversation there. We also post our episodes on YouTube, so go check out our YouTube page. Be sure to like and subscribe. Rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts, and check out our merchandise and Patreon pages to support us that way. Links to all the aforementioned information are included in the show notes to this episode. Any final thoughts, Jen and Tom?
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
Spend time with the ones you love.
that's right.
Or us, whichever.
Sure.
Yeah, if you don't have anybody to
We love you.
turn on the Talk Around Riyadh podcast, and we'll love you for as long as you want. Thanks everyone for listening, and you'll hear us next time.